All right, let's jump right into Ezekiel chapter 42 for this deep dive.
Okay.
We're following this vision where our guide is showing us around the temple area.
Specifically, a complex of rooms.
Exactly. We start off being led to the north side, right opposite the temple courtyard.
And the level of detail here is, well, it's quite remarkable.
It really is. So this building, these rooms, the text says 100 cubits long and 50 cubits wide.
Right. And a cubit, for reference, is roughly, elbow to fingertip, maybe 18 inches, half a meter, give or take.
Good point. So it's a pretty significant size. And these rooms had galleries.
Yes, galleries on 3 levels, facing each other,
Yeah.
stretching between the inner court and the outer pavement area.
And there was a passageway inside too, right? 10 cubits wide.
10 cubits wide and 100 cubits long. And the doors for these rooms face north.
What's really interesting is how the layout changes as you go up.
Exactly. The upper rooms were actually narrower.
Narrower. Why was that?
Well, it seems those galleries, they took up more of the floor space on the higher levels.
Ah, okay. So the structure itself kind of dictated the room size.
Precisely. And the third floor rooms were even more distinct, smaller still, because they didn't have the pillars that supported the lower levels or were found in the courts.
So definitely not just a uniform block. It was quite intricate.
Very deliberately designed, it seems.
And the detail continues outside those rooms too. There's a wall.
Yes, an outer wall running parallel to the rooms and the outer court. It extended 50 cubits out in front.
50 cubits. And the room rows themselves weren't all the same length either?
No, that's right. The row closer to the outer court was 50 cubits long.
Okay.
But the row that was nearer the sanctuary, that stretched the full 100 cubits.
Wow. Okay, so different lengths depending on proximity to the sanctuary.
Right.
And the entrance.
For the lower rooms, specifically mentioned as being on the east side, coming in from the outer court.
Got it. So that's the north side covered in incredible detail. Where next?
The vision then moves to the south side.
And how did that compare?
Well, the text basically says they were very similar, like a mirror image of the north.
Same dimensions. Length, width,
Yep, same length, width, exits, overall dimensions, even similar doorways are mentioned.
and the entrance. Also from the east.
The description mentions an entrance on the south side via a passageway that ran parallel to a wall heading eastward, so structurally analogous to the north side.
Okay, so these elaborate room complexes, north and south, facing the courtyard, what were they actually for?
Well, the text is very clear on that. These are specifically called the priests' rooms.
The priest's rooms. For what purpose?
This is where the priests, the ones who approach the Lord, are designated to eat the most holy offerings.
The most holy offerings, like what?
It lists them.
Yeah.
The grain offerings, the sin offerings, and the guilt offerings. Eating them here is key.
Why specifically there?
Because, as the text explicitly states, the place is holy. It's consecrated ground, suitable for consuming these sacred offerings.
That makes sense. A holy place for holy food. Does that holiness affect the priests themselves?
It certainly does. There's a very specific rule laid out.
Oh, what's that?
Once the priests enter these holy areas, these rooms, they are strictly forbidden from going back out into the outer court
Okay.
until they take off the special garments they wore while ministering.
They have to change clothes. Why?
Because the garments themselves are considered holy. They're tied to their sacred duties and the sacred space.
So they can't wear them out where the general public is.
Exactly. They must put on other clothes, regular clothes, before going into the areas designated for the people.
Wow. That really emphasizes the division, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It's a clear physical separation. Holy service, holy space, holy garments on one side.
And the common area, the everyday space on the other.
Precisely. It underscores the profound sanctity surrounding their approach to the Lord.
So after all this detail inside the rooms, the rules, does the measuring continue?
Yes. The man finishes measuring the inner temple area, then leads the speaker out, specifically through the east gate, to measure the entire compound.
The whole thing. What were the dimensions?
500 cubits on the east side,
Okay.
500 cubits on the north side,
Right.
500 on the south, and 500 on the west.
So a perfect square.
A perfect square area, 500 cubits by 500 cubits.
Hmm.
And surrounding this whole area,
Let me guess. Another wall.
you got it, a wall encompassing the entire square.
And does the text say why this outer wall is there?
It does, very explicitly. Its purpose is to separate the holy from the common.
Ah, there it is again. That theme of separation.
It's the final defining boundary marker for the entire sacred precinct.
It's just striking how Ezekiel 42 weaves together these incredibly precise architectural details, the
Hmm.
specific priestly rules about garments and eating, and these grand measurements, all reinforcing that central idea.
Holiness and separation, they are absolutely key themes here.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? This vision of such clearly defined physical boundaries and strict rules needed to maintain holiness.
Hmm. It prompts reflection on what that kind of distinct separation between sacred and common means, or how that concept might resonate or perhaps even challenge our perspectives today.